No, that's, well, that's everybody.
Hello, I'm just going to wait a minute or two. We've had some technology issues here today, so it took me a minute to get logged in. So I'm just going to give people a minute in case they're still joining us.
Good morning.
Nice to see you guys.
Morning.
Okay, I'll go ahead and get started. I know there might be some tech issues. Our filter in the district somehow is causing some problems for us district-wide. So I'm actually logged in with my hotspot through my phone. So hopefully that's going to hold through our meeting. So I did put together a PowerPoint for today just to make sure that I could go through all the information and make sure I didn't forget anything. So if I haven't met you, I'm Carrie Kimes. I'm the principal here at North Park. So just some general information. Time frame today is 10 to 11, and our next meeting has been tentatively scheduled for October 20th. I'm just waiting to make sure on one thing, but I believe October 20th will be our next one, again from 10 to 11. And then some upcoming events we have, and some of these I'm going to go into more detail when I get to those particular slides, but October 4th, we have no school. It's a staff development day, so our staff will be here, but no students on Monday. Next week, for the whole week, it's anti-bullying week. So we'll have a spirit week and different events each day put on by ASB and Web. Next Wednesday morning is ELAC, our English Language Advisory or English Learners Advisory Committee at 10 a.m. Also on October 6th, our counselors will be holding a parent night. I'm going to go into that a little bit more at a later slide. Sorry, give me one quick moment. Okay, sorry about that. So October 8th, well, October 6th through 8th, I'm sorry, let me try that again. October 6th is our 8th grade parent night. Again, there's a slide about that in a little bit. It's at 5:30 p.m. October 8th is our PBIS kickoff. PBIS is our positive behavior intervention system. And so the web group and the ASB kids will be doing some activities through the PE classes next Friday. It was originally scheduled for tomorrow, but our web kiddos and ASB kiddos thought it might make better sense to tie it in with anti-bullying week. So we moved it to next Friday instead. October 20th again will be our next coffee with the principal. October 25th through the 29th is Red Ribbon Week, and our ASB is starting to plan for that and getting ready for activities during that week. October 27th will be our parent conferences, and I have a slide about that also. And then October 29th is going to be a minimum day, and that's in conjunction with the parent conferences. So I'm going to go into a couple of these in more detail, but are there any questions about what we have coming up? It's a big month for October.
Yeah, sound busy.
Yes. Yeah, and our ASB kids are doing a great job of keeping things going and keeping activities to get the kids engaged. It's been great to watch.
Cool.
I have a question, Ms. Kives.
Yes, sir.
For those of us who didn't attend the parent conference for the mental health yesterday, succinctly, can you just kind of fill us in on what was the order of the day?
Yes, and I have a slide on that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll talk about that when I get to that slide, but yes, I definitely want to talk about that as well. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. So required materials, something that's come up at our last several meetings is what teachers require every day. So I've been working with our teachers to get a master list of what students are actually required to have in class every day. It's been posted now on our website under both under students and under parents. And it looks, let me see. It looks like this. Can you guys see it? Did the link open?
Yeah.
Okay. So it lists every teacher, what they require daily, and also what they require periodically. And if they teach more than one class, for example, if they have different requirements, like Mr. Meadow has different requirements for art than for science, then those are both listed. There are no teachers that require the textbook every day. There are a few teachers who require it periodically. There's a few teachers who do require 3-ring binders. Mr. Kraft is the only one who requests a 3-ring binder specific to his class. The other teachers are okay with 1 binder that is for all classes. So I know this has been something that's been coming up a lot. So I wanted to make sure that parents also had this information accessible to help their students like empty out some of those things in their backpack that they don't need to be bringing.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
You're welcome. I've been working on it. It just took me some time to make sure I had everything for all teachers. And, I'd email it out, and as I'm sure I would do also, some teachers would look at it and be like, oh, I want to add that to mine. So I wanted to make sure I had a very accurate list, but this has been posted now. I'll send it out with my Sunday email. And that way, you guys will all know if your student has a very heavy backpack, maybe there's some things you can clear out. The other thing is we are today, I believe, issuing earbud packages to every student. So if a student does need earbuds for class, that they are being given some today in a little baggie. If they already have some, that's fine, but we do want to make sure if we're requiring earbuds that we've provided them as well. So any questions on the required materials? So the valet program, this is something else that's kind of come up. The district office is starting to recruit volunteers to help with drop off and dismissal at the school sites. They're starting with the elementary schools, I believe, next week. And I've talked to Ms. Soto Delgado at the district office, the director of student services, and she knows that as soon as they get elementaries up and running, I want to expand it to North Park as one of the first middle schools. So that'll be like parents or community members who are willing to volunteer at the beginning of school or after school to help facilitate traffic flow in our parking lots. And the district will pay for fingerprinting, they'll pay for any necessary training, all of that will be free to the volunteers. So as soon as that extends to the middle schools, I'll get that information emailed out.
Okay, if I already had my fingerprints taken like 3 years ago when I was at the elementary school, would I still need it again?
I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure.
Okay.
Emergency drills, we had a fire drill on Tuesday. It took less than 25 minutes to get the kids evacuated, all of our check-in stuff done. And, it's a little slower on a drill because we're kind of going through a bunch of different things to see what we would need to do. And then back in class in less than 25 minutes. We did see a couple adjustments that we're going to want to make. For example, by the bungalows, our SSOs open the small gate instead of the big double gate. We want to make sure that if we did have an emergency, people can exit as quickly as possible. So we want to make sure we get those double gates open. We also realized we didn't have anybody assigned to check the boys one and girls one, or the boys and girls restrooms in our main hallway. So we want to make sure we have people assigned to check that and then shut those doors. So a couple things that we just realized as we were going through it. It's the first drill our staff and students have had since before the COVID closure. So it was good to practice these things and kind of see what came up. We had some documents that had wording on it that weren't exactly accurate for what we're doing now. So just some adjustments. I think it's good we did the drill. Now we know and we can make those changes. We have another drill scheduled for October 21st. That's the Great Shakeout, and it's the statewide earthquake drill. So we do a comprehensive school safety plan, and that's due in March. So we have the one from last year, but we are making some edits on it based on our drill on Tuesday. So the mental health trainings, we had our mental health info night on Tuesday. It was an overview of kind of the mental health resources, mental health stigma, and what parents can do to help their students. It was recorded. Once our internet issues resolve themselves, Mr. Ponciano is going to upload it to our website for people who missed it. It's about 25 minutes in English and then another 25 minutes in Spanish. One of the things that Ms. Rios, our mental health counselor, is offering is future trainings, and she's trying to find out what might be of interest. So I have a survey. I'll pop the link in the chat in just a moment. But it's a pretty quick survey asking for your name, student's name, if you want. Those are both optional. The grade of whatever students you have at North Park, what topics you might be interested in, and any other comments. So I'll post that in the chat just so that if you guys are interested in future trainings, she can kind of target it towards what the interest is.
Okay.
And again, the recording from Tuesday night will be posted as soon as we can actually access the internet easily today. Does that answer your questions about the mental health?
Actually, not really.
Okay.
So I think it was last week, there was another meeting with Mr. Collins, and I forgot her name. And I asked the question, but they said it was on the website, but I wanted to ask you personally, at your school, are you screening kids or children for any type of either behavior, psychological, or emotional evaluation? Do you guys give them questionnaires without parents' consent?
So we do have a mental health screener that we have not sent out yet. This coming Sunday, I'll be sending out the opt-out form to parents first. So if parents are not comfortable with us giving their child the mental health screener, you will have the opportunity to opt out. We will then provide the mental health screener to students whose parents did not opt out of that. So we have not sent the mental health screener to anyone yet because we're waiting until we get the opt-out form sent.
And would we be able to see that questionnaire or the what you would be giving to the children even if we opt out?
Let me check with Ms. Rios because she has that. I don't have access to that form, but let me check with our mental health counselor and find out that information for you.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, the only time we talk with a student without the parent knowing ahead of time is if it's a crisis, and we always call the parents in that situation. So we don't talk to students without letting parents know that it is happening or has happened if it's a crisis and we had to intervene immediately. In just a moment, I'll post the survey link in the chat. Parent conferences are going to be held October 27th. At this time, it is still a virtual event. All events are going to be virtual through November 5th. At that time, the district and the county Department of Public Health will reevaluate if we can have live events. So that one is scheduled for October 27th from 1 to 3:15 and from 5 to 6:30. The teachers will be sending out sign-up information when we get a little bit closer to the event. At our staff development on Monday, that's one of the things we're going to be talking about is getting sign-up information sent out to parents. If those times don't work, then I know the teachers will work with parents to figure out another time, but that's the time that we have like dedicated to it. Any questions?
What was the last time on that parent conference? I got the 1 to
I'm sorry.
3:30, but what was the
5 to 6:30.
5 to 6? Thank you.
No problem. And I'm posting that link for the mental health survey in the chat right now. And I'll also be sending that out in the email on Sunday that I send out.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Yeah,
It wouldn't be a bad idea if you could send out what the questionnaire looks like, just so that some parents could decide whether that's, something they want. It's not a bad idea.
And I'll have to look at the opt-out form to see if it includes that information. Let me look at that really quick. So let me show you the opt-out form, just so you can see kind of what it's saying. So it looks like students will be periodically provided with questionnaires, surveys, and screeners that address issues related to safety, wellness, mental health. Students may opt out of filling any questionnaires if they're not interested in taking, and you can opt out your child either through this form or by calling us. And then hang on, I'll scroll right back up to that. I just want to see what's down here.
Ms. Kimes.
Yes, sir.
Like how would this be administered? Like what times would they be taking this, or how would you be separating the kids who are gonna take it versus the ones that are not?
So what we would normally do in something like this is send it out, put it in a Google Classroom and have the students complete it during their PE classes or when they're doing their second step, our social emotional learning. And it would usually be targeted to something that's already going on. And we also do the California Healthy Kids Survey, which is from the state. And that also asks questions like, do you have access to a trusted adult? How safe do you feel at school? What types of incidents have you heard of or know about that have happened on your campus? It's things like that that we use to determine kind of the culture and climate of our campus and areas for improvement.
And previously there was a message about funds for secondary and primary schools. Mm-hmm. And I said like number 3 or number 2.
Is that the ESSER 3?
Yes, I think that's the one. What was that about? I know there was a meeting yesterday. I couldn't make it, but
so the ESSER 3 funding, that's funding from the state. It's additional funding to mitigate learning loss as a result of COVID. And it's the third installment of the ESSER funds. So in order to develop our plan of how we're going to use the funds that we then submit to the county and they submit to the state, we are required to have input from parents, staff, and for staff, it has to be teachers, classified administrators. And so they were gathering input to be able to develop our plan that we're going to submit as to how we will spend this money if it's granted to us.
And what did the parents say? What was the options actually?
I don't know because I wasn't at the parent meeting. Oh. I know at the administrators meeting, we talked about increased funding for tutoring, increased options for tutoring. We talked about increased clerical support staff in the front office because our health offices are going crazy with contact tracing. And so additional staffing there, if possible, would be helpful. We talked about increasing our mental health options. We talked about increasing our textbooks and our free reading books in the library, because when we're looking at the mitigating learning loss, we have students that are reading at a lower reading level than we have in the past, and making sure that we have lower level but high interest books, because our kids in 6th, 7th, and 8th grades aren't wanting to read books that are designed for 2nd and 3rd grade. So making sure we have books at their interest level, but also their reading level. Those are the main things that come to mind that we talked about.
And when it's finalized, when it's approved, would the parents be able to see like an itemized list of how the funds were allocated? Like,
I don't know how itemized it will be, but it will be presented at the board meeting. I think they're presenting it at the October 19th board meeting, and it will also be posted on the website because it is public information. I don't know that it's itemized as far as like North Park tutoring this amount, but it would be as far as like tutoring for middle schools this amount. I'm texting my mental health to see if she's available to pop in for a moment to answer some of those questions on the screener. I'm not sure if she's with a student. Any other questions? Let me just give her a quick call. I don't know if she's on her phone. Okay, she didn't answer her cell or her office phone, so I'm assuming she's not actually available. But I will get the information on the screener and I'll let you guys know what she says on that as far as what's on it. And I know the initial screener they've worked on, but I don't know, it's been worked on through the mental health department at the district office. So I wasn't a part of that creation process.
that's public information too, right?
What is public information?
Like the questionnaire and the screener.
I don't know that it is. That's what I need to find out. Any other questions or anything I can help with? Anything? We are hearing that there are more TikTok challenges, one per month. So apparently the October challenge is hit a teacher on the backside. So we're sincerely hoping that that is not one that catches on.
Has the last one kind of stopped?
It seems like it does. It seems like it's calmed down and
Okay.
we're not dealing with that anymore. Yeah, I know it was happening everywhere. My husband's a teacher and my kids both go to different schools. It was happening at all of our schools. Saw it on the news. We're really hoping the remainder of the TikTok challenges do not catch on. But
Say, for example, a student falls into that peer pressure or for whatever reason, something just takes over him or her, and they do that. What happens next?
if we have a student physically contacting a teacher, especially if they're like hitting them on the backside, basically on the butt, that would fall under possible suspension and possible criminal charges.
Mhm.
Same thing if they did that to another student, it would fall under suspension and possible criminal charges, because depending on the context and the circumstance, it could be considered assault. Not necessarily, it would just depend on the circumstances. But if we have anyone hitting somebody else on the backside, that would be cause for suspension.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I think that's it on my end. I don't know if it looks like you covered everything that you had on your agenda, right?
I did.
Okay, yeah. So I'm probably gonna log out, but then I'll be on the lookout for those links.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you, ma'am, and have a nice day.
Thank you, you too.
All right.
I have a few questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, and I have a suggestion. In
Okay.
regards to that new TikTok challenge, I think I would suggest the school put out a memo or some sort of notification to the students, emphasizing that if they do partake in this challenge, it's not only suspension, but also criminal. Because I think a lot of the kids will, downplay the suspension, like, I'll just miss school, doesn't matter. But if it's criminal, I think that they really take that very serious. So just emphasizing to them so they don't start doing this challenge.
And
That's
we have been putting it in our daily announcements, and I believe the district is putting together something that all sites are going to send out. So we send a consistent message to our students and to our families. We just heard about the updated challenges last night. So we're working on getting something together today, but I do know that we've been putting it in our daily announcements for the students also.
Okay, great. And then the other thing, I just have 2 questions. I wanted to know, in the lunch time, especially for like the 7th and the 8th graders, is there supervision or staff in the area, or is it pretty much just the kids having lunch?
Out on the blacktop, we have 2 SSOs, and our PE teachers are typically out there as well. In the hallways, we have at least 1, sometimes 2 SSOs, a counselor, and our assistant principal. And that also covers the lunch bench area. I'm in the cafeteria, and our other counselor is at the lunch line.
Okay, so there is supervision everywhere where the kids are, pretty much.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then we do also have our lunch bunch now, where we have about 30 to 40 kids going in the library, and we have either our mental health counselor with one of our interns, or our mental health counselor is out doing supervision, and one of our counselors is in there with our interns, working with the kids. They're basically like playing games, eating lunch, just having a place to go.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. Okay, thank you.
Thing.
Just on that mental health counselor, do they make any like observations on children that they might, I don't
No.
know, from
Not during that. That's not the purpose. The purpose for that is just to give the kids somewhere to be. And so they're basically like helping kids get Connect 4 set up, or playing Jenga, or playing different board games. She's not there to do formal observations. She's there to ensure the kids are having a good time.
just to kind of piggyback on that that trend or that challenge, might be a good time to talk about it in the anti-bullying. Bring it up then. But
Yes.
good point. Circling back to that. But other than that, Ms. Kimes, thank you.
No problem. Thank you for being here.
All right.
Ms. Kimes, you said you were going to have a non-bullying week. What will that consist of?
Our ASB and Web is working on it. It's scheduled for next week.
Okay.
We will have we'll have dress up days every day, because that just helps call attention to the fact that we're doing something. Like, like, why are we wearing crazy socks? So it gets those conversations going.
Okay.
The ASB will also have lunch activities for both lunches every day. And then we're going to do our PBIS kickoff or our presentations during PE on Friday for each class.
You'll send out the little schedule per day.
I will.
Oh, okay.
I will.
All right.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, and our ASB kids always do such a fantastic job. So do our web kids. So I'm looking forward to what they come up with next week. They always have posters all over campus. They do a really great job.
Awesome.
They're great kids. Any other questions, Ms. Rodriguez, Ms. Ferris?
You know what? I just thought of something.
Absolutely.
Because of the backpack issue in the past, I ended up getting my son a rolling backpack. And he shared with me that some of the kids like to kick the backpack as he's rolling it. They like to kick it. Like, he hasn't necessarily received bullying, but just like kicking here and there. And I always tell him, well, what do you tell them? He says that he turns around and says, hey, don't do that. Please stop. But it's like a thing that kids do. So my thing is, are you able to put out something or say to the kids like, hey, respect the people with rolling bags. Please don't kick it. Like, they're purposely doing this. So it's a concern.
I can ask our web advisor, Ms. Barrios, if she can address that in part of the PBIS kickoff next Friday. In terms of both that specifically and respecting other students' property and person in general. I know that's part of the conversation she's already planning on having, but I can make sure she emphasizes that point as well.
Oh, that'll be great. Thank you.
And what's nice about doing it through PE is they have access to the kids in like a smaller group. I mean, it's probably still about like 60 or 70 kids, but they're not trying to talk to all 500 at once. And
Right.
so it gives them a better chance to actually like talk to them, and we have the web kids will be involved in it as well. So it's a nicer way than a full assembly when we really want to make sure we get the information out, as opposed to like a rally type thing where an assembly might be more appropriate. We can't do assemblies right now anyway, but
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
no problem. Ms. Ferris, you have anything for me?
No, I'm good. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're quite welcome. I'll post the PowerPoint online also, just for anyone who wasn't here, if you want to review any of the information that was on it, once we get our internet back and working fully, and I'm not on my cell phone hotspot.
Thank you again. Have
No
a good
problem.
day.
Thank you, you too. And I'll be here for a few minutes if you guys have if anything comes up.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too. All right. I'll come chat with you ladies.